Hello everyone and welcome back to my channel. I hope you had a good start into 2022 so far. So in today's video we are going to talk about The Secret History by Donna Tartt, and I think it's going to be very interesting because I have a somewhat controversial opinion of this story. It's a crime thriller, but not a whodunit, but a whydunit, and it all begins with a cold-blooded murder. The Secret History by Donna Tartt is in the genre fiction. It's a crime thriller, but also a coming-of-age novel for readers 16 plus, I'd say. It was published 1992 by Alfred A. Knopf, now Penguin Books, has 640 pages and the reading time is 9 to 10 hours. If you like this book, you could also be interested in Aristoteles and Dante Discover the Secrets of the Universe by Benjamin Alire Sainz. Okay, this to the bullet points. Let's move on to the author, Donna Tartt. The American author Donna Tartt was born in 1963 in Greenwood, Mississippi. She was estranged from her father and grew up with her mother, her sister and her grandparents. And she says she had no fancy upbringing with not a lot of money. Tartt is a graduate of Bennington College, which was renowned for its writing program. She is a multi-awarded novelist, essayist, and she's also a critic. The Secret History was her debut novel. It came out in 1992 and became a bestseller right away. 10 years later, The Little Friend came out, for which she won the W.H. Smith Literary Award and was on the shortlist for the Orange Prize. And then again, more than a decade later, The Goldfinch came out, for which she was awarded with the 2013 Pulitzer Prize for Fiction and the Andrew Carnegie Award for Excellence in Fiction. This book was also awarded with Italy's Malaparte Prize and has been made into a movie starring Nicole Kidman. I haven't seen this movie yet, but I will definitely watch it. It sounds very interesting.
This is the one I was talking about.
When I lost her, I lost sight of any landmark that might have led me someplace happier.
You're the boy, aren't you? The boy whose mother was killed.
Yeah, her books have been translated into 30 languages across the world. Tartt was named as one of the 1,000 most influential people by the Times magazine and London's Evening Standard. And I think she was also awarded for the Vanity Fair prize for the best dressed woman. This is really nothing important, but I thought I mention it anyway. Donna Tartt likes to visit the places where her stories are set and always carries a notebook with her so she can jot down little snippets of conversation she overhears and refer back to it when she needs a new character. Yeah, what else can I tell you about her? She has no social media presence and gives rarely interviews, which surrounds her with a certain mystique. She says, quote, "I'm a bit of a lone wolf, my desk is where the real work happens." And I think this makes her a very sympathetic person, in my opinion, in an era of reality TV where there are no secrets anymore. That's why there's not so much more to say about her than that she lived in Greenwich Village in the Upper East Side and on a farm near Charlottesville in Virginia, What else? She's 6 feet tall and has said she will never marry. Yeah. So let's not dwell on information about her and go to the things that really matters to her, her stories. Let's go to the synopsis of The Secret History. I begin with a warning for sensitive readers. The Secret History includes drugs and touches upon the taboo subject incest, and it's about a planned cold-blooded murder with which the story begins. This is not a spoiler, it starts with this murder right at page 1. The story is told in retrospect by 28-year-old first-person narrator and protagonist Richard Papen about his time when he was a 19-year-old college student. As I mentioned, we first learn about the cold-blooded planned murder he and his friends Henry, Francis and the twins Camilla and Charles commit on their mutual friend Bunny. Bunny is thrown into a ravine, snow begins to fall, and after a large-scale search for the believed missing man, it takes 10 days for the thawing snow to release his body. Now the question is not who did it, but how did it get this far? Why did they kill their friend Bunny? And to find that out, I think we have to start with Richard's story at the beginning. Richard grew up in a small town in California and comes from a middle-class background with uncaring, loveless parents. After dropping out of pre-med school, he gets a scholarship and ends up at Hamden. It's an elite college in Vermont, New England. That means right on the other side, far away from his parents. And since his plans for his future do not coincide with those of his father, his parents deprive him of any support, both financial and personal. And that's why he's completely on his own when he arrives in Hamden. He finds himself in a very different environment among these rich kids and is fascinated by a group of 5 young ancient Greek students. Henry, Bunny, Francis, as well as the twins Camilla and Charles immediately captivate him with their almost ethereal and intellectual nature, like not from this world. And since he has knowledge in the ancient language, he manages to participate in the unconventional and exclusive ancient Greek course of Professor Julian Morose. Julian Morose teaches only these 5 selected, hand-picked students, and he designs his class in a very different, holistic way. As you can say, very familiar, like he's almost like a father figure to his students. So Richard becomes a part of these eccentric misfits who are a conspiratorial community, living a secluded existence on the campus, aloof, in a cosmos of their own, and they are spending almost every free minute together. And they stand out not only from the way they dress, like expensive suits or bright clothes, the twins. No, also their leisure activities are different. They mainly focus on the study of the classical language, and it goes so far that when other people are around, they tend to talk ancient Greek or Latin as a kind of a secret language. So Richard learns and parties exuberantly with them. They are so attractive to him because of their difference, and he tries to hide his petit bourgeois existence from them, telling them lies, and fabricates a story of his wealthy parents in California. And it's kind of embarrassing because he's always broke and they see right through his lies. But anyway, he is then integrated into this hedonistic circle of friends, and Francis invites him to his aunt's uninhabited country estate, where the group indulges even more extensively in the beautiful life. But soon the dazzling facade of unshakable friendship crumbles, and Richard gets subliminal tensions between the five. Then Henry, the head of the group, lets him in on a terrible secret. It's dark, it's cruel, and it's deadly, accomplished in a state of total intoxication, of an intellectual study gone horribly wrong. And Richard is drawn in and soon involved in the planning of Bonnie's murder. He is caught in a maelstrom from which there seems to be no other way out. And so the circle is closed, and it comes to the murder with which the story was introduced. Yeah, this to the synopsis. I don't tell you more. So if you want to read the book, you have still secrets, you don't know the secret history. Let's move on to the impression I got from this book. To begin with, my opinion of this story is split and controversy. But first I would like to talk about the things I liked. I love the atmospherically dense narrative and the quiet undertones. Tartt goes into minute details and her language is plastic and vivid. I could imagine everything so good. Then the setting, this picturesque setting of this fictional Hampden College with its old buildings in a small town in Vermont, the college students, their everyday life, as well as the dream house in the countryside with a lake and surrounded by forest. These settings stand in stark contrast to the horrendous and cruel plot. And as a result of this contrast, this is anything but a classical college novel. And it's also not a classical crime fiction. It has something of a gothic noir story, and this story is also very complex from a psychological point of view. The development and then the disintegration of friendship through this irreversible heinous act is also well described, as is the way each individual deals with their conscience. This makes it, in my opinion, also a coming-of-age novel, this development of the characters through the crime. So we have many facets. I like these many facets. It always changes. We have, like the college novel, we have the crime fiction, and we have the coming-of-age novel. It's like this thriller-esque feeling of it, and on top of that we have a layer of this gothic noir, and this makes it a very, very interesting story. I love that, and I love that this story is so different from most of the things I have read so far. Let's go to the things I did not like. I didn't like the characters. Unfortunately, I cannot identify with them at all, and that's a problem if you read a book and you don't like the characters. The main character, Richard in particular, I found quite passive, naive, allowing himself to be orchestrated by the other without posing any questions, not thinking. And his personality, he wants to fit into this group so desperately that he bends and he lies, and on top of that he's a coward and shallow. He doesn't seem to be affected by the death of his friend, and this lack of empathy, this shallowness, this did not bring character Richard close to me. Actually, I didn't learn that much about Richard either. And also the other 5 main characters, I found them arrogant, condescending and psychopathic, and then they are so cold-hearted without any empathy that they have the gall to go to their friend's funeral and look the grieving parents in the face and feign sadness. Disgusting. And some characters led one to expect more of themselves, yet Professor Julian Morrow's, I thought this figure could have been weaved more into the story because I expected him to be a central person, a central character of this story, and he wasn't. He was kind of absent and strangely insignificant, and I found that a bit of a pity. And also Camilla, the only girl, she was also not present. She acted not comprehensible for me. All in all, these 5 friends were completely detached from reality and sometimes close to insanity. The plot twist comes right at the beginning. This gets the story off to a fast-paced start. I wanted to read on and find out why the murder happened, but then it got long-winded in places. Insignificant actions were embellished in details. I'm talking about Richard's vacation job or the many drinking bouts at the country estate. And then the frequent Greek quotes. After a while, I found them just tedious. The second part of the book, with the murder investigation and the many side events, was unnecessarily drawn out. It watered down the story and made it chaotic at times, and then to the end of the story, I did not like the end of the story either. Overall, although language and style are beyond reproach, it's so different, like a glitch in reality. The story, mainly because of the characters, did not meet my personal taste, and that's why I give it only 4.5 stars out of 6 stars. However, I know that many readers will like this book, and I think it's with all art, beauty is in the eye of the beholder, and that's good. Let's go to the conclusion. The Secret History is not for the faint of heart. Those who like more gritty college groove will love this book. There's the air of Hitchcock's The Rope, Dead Poets Society. Oh, I love this movie. And also a touch of David Lynch's Twin Peaks attached to it. Some of you might remember Twin Peaks. If you haven't watched it, watch it. It's something totally different. It's like this book. There's nothing similar to it. And I think this book is also good for male readers. It will definitely leave its mark whether you like the story or not. It polarizes and it won't leave you untouched. And although I did not like this story, it does not mean I don't like Donna Tartt or Donna Tartt's writing style. I love it, and that's why I will definitely read another book, maybe The Goldfinch, in the coming months. So yeah, what's your opinion? Do you like the characters? Let me know in the comment section down below. I'm really curious what you all think of this book. Thank you so much for watching this video. If you enjoyed, please leave a thumbs up and don't forget to subscribe. If you like this video, this book, you also might like that one. I picked it out because it's kind of similar to The Secret History. You can also join me on Instagram. But yeah, see you next time. Bye.